Welcome to Drill Down Earnings Lead of the latest quarterly results from ASML. This is a weird quarter because they let the results slip out by accident. They called it a technical error, but they held the conference call the day afterwards. So I thought it was good for us to take a time to do some analysis of these numbers. This is the business story behind One Stock on the Move. I'm Chief Market Strategist Cory Johnson. ASML earnings are so important because there is no other company in the world like ASML. They are the engine behind the machines that make semiconductor processing and specifically GPUs and the highest level of semiconductors, the semiconductors that give us AI and memory. There's no other company like it. Q3 numbers were a beat, but the market sold off the stock a lot because of the guidance given. Let's look at the numbers specifically. 7.5 billion euro in sales, 2.3 billion euro in net income in the quarter. So fantastically profitable business. Gross margins of 50.8% are just incredible. It shows how unique this company is that they command such margins. Their bookings, however, of just 2.6 billion, while most of that was their sexy EUV business, which we're going to talk about, that was a disappointment. I think that's why the stock sold off. Nonetheless, revenues were up 12% on a year-over-year basis. That's really good. And prices per unit are drifting up now to 51 million euro per device. Again, it bounces around a little bit. We can see those numbers getting up. Now, they sell services to take care of their old machines, 21% of revenues, but system sales dominate with 79% of revenues. And I think really importantly, when you look at where they sell, you saw China continuing to dominate with 48% of revenues. US was up a lot to 22% of revenues, but 48% of revenues to China. This is at the same time that America is trying to keep China from having the most powerful equipment and having their own most powerful AI, and yet this company continues to sell into the business of helping China's semiconductor manufacturing prowess. And you can see that wasn't always the case. When you go back even a year and a half ago, China was a very small percentage of sales for this business, but they have seen fantastic growth with sales coming from China, and that remains so despite export controls. There was a story on Bloomberg yesterday that suggested that export controls might be increased and that might further hurt the sales of this company and others. Nonetheless, China's big chip equipment push meant that 3.5 billion euro worth of revenues in the last 13 weeks went to ASML. So a lot of spending in China, even though they can't buy the best and the brightest. What is the best and the brightest? It's EUV. They spent 20 years working with their partners and suppliers to develop these fantastic EUV machines that can contain 100,000 parts. And just to ship one of these giant things takes 40 freight containers, 3 cargo planes, 20 trucks. These things are behemoths and they're really expensive. Some of these cost over $200 million per unit. Now they have 6 segments that the company reports, but I want to focus on 2. EUV, extreme ultraviolet, and R5, which is argon fluoride immersion, whatever. We won't do the chemistry, but it's important to look at these 2 businesses here. So the most advanced lithography technology that makes GPUs, yes, we're talking about the NVIDIA kind of chips, that is EUV. Really fine feature sizes down to 3 nanometer or even below. It's essential for making cutting edge AI. R5, not quite as advanced, but still critical layers of chip production, including for GPUs, down to about 7 nanometer. And so when you look at the company's results, it's shorthand, but EUVs are AI, R5 not always, not so much. Again, there's memory makers and things using EUV a little bit, but again, when we look at these results and we see them in the chart that I made for you that's in orange here, look at the fantastic growth in EUV, 41% on a quarter-over-quarter basis. So R5 is a bigger business, but EUV is growing and growing really fast. This is AI. The company said on the conference call that without AI, things would be sad. But the AI business is doing really well. Nonetheless, there's still this reliance on China, which can't buy the most advanced EUV machines. So how do we make sense of this? When you look a little bit deeper into the business, well, first let's look at the stock reaction. So when the guidance came out as so weak, and maybe not the fantastic growth going forward that they might have expected, the company lowering their guidance as well to about $33 billion when it had been as high as 40, stock sold off fantastically, down 16% after the numbers came out. And for the year, now up only 22%. Nonetheless, in a conference call, the CEO who just took over in April, Christophe Forquet, he talked about how this business is really reliant on AI, and China in the future is not going to be what China is right now.
Anything related to AI is strong, but other than that, there are limited capacity additions. Also important, the China business, and we do expect, the China business and the percentage of the China business as part of our total business to show a more normalized percentage in our order book and also in our business. In summary, longer term trends are still very, very strong, very, very positive, showing good signs of upside. But the development in the past couple of months and the customer specific circumstances that I mentioned have now led to a more gradual growth curve for our business.
All right, a more gradual growth curve, what it really means is less growth, at least in the near term for this company, but AI driving that. So when we take a step back and think about our essential drill down earnings summary, what have we learned? Well, ASML reporting third quarter earnings and 7.5 billion euro in revenues, 2.1 billion euro in net income is really good. It's 12% annual growth. So what's not to like here? Well, if we look at our drill down earnings bite, the one number that tells us a whole lot, EUV, that's the AI machines, basically, 2.74 billion euro in the quarter, growing at a fantastic clip. That's good news for the company, but everything else maybe not growing as fast. All right, there's your Drill Down Earnings Bite, the one number that told us a whole lot. Thank you for listening to Drill Down Earnings. I'm Cory Johnson of Epistrophy Capital Research. Check you out later.